of you. I'm in a parking lot alone at night break. That's sounding a lot creepier than I intended. This basically is an illustration in procrastination with God. I pulled a Jonah. It's a reference to the Bible character / Bible book Jonah in the Bible. Is that clear enough? He runs away from the call of God and like the cause and like the instructions by God, and ends up in a whale because God's like, well, this is the only way I can get you back. The past few months I've really felt like in the belly of a beast, and by that I mean isolation, depression, general lostness, like night break, you know? God asked me to do a couple different things and I didn't, and I don't know how much of that was conscious or unconscious of me just rejecting God's instructions, but there's some things I just didn't want to do. And now I'm circling back a couple months later after being like, if that is any glimpse of what the absence of God feels like or the wrath of God feels like. I'm not going to say he wasn't there, because I believe that, you know, like the Psalm of David says, like, if I make my bed in hell, you're there. And whatever that verse was, I knew it as I started talking and I forgot it. If I make my bed, if I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, you're there. Something like that. Regardless, I don't believe that God believes you, but I do believe in this idea of walking with God and walking with the Spirit of God, which in my simple understanding is like walking with a friend. And I just feel like God he like took a left, or he's like way down the path, and he said, hey, you know, come follow me, like I'm clearly going this way, and I didn't. So I don't think that means God's not with me, but I do feel a certain level of absence that I haven't felt before, since following him, I should say. So this is procrastination. This is deciding on a Monday night way too late in rainy weather that finally I'm gonna obey. And so I just kind of wanted to take momentum where I had it, because I feel like momentum, it just like comes and goes with me, just like the wind. As soon as you feel it, if you don't act on it, it's gone. So yeah, I just want to set myself up for as much success as I can after failing so hard for so long. So this is one of the things I feel like God wanted me to do, is to just put my life on display, which the Jonah version of me didn't want to do that for a million different reasons, and that's why it sounded so awkward in the beginning of this video. Hopefully I've toned that down. Unclear. Waiting on feedback. I'm just kidding. Don't give me feedback. I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for feedback. I just don't want to put my life on display, but also how many times do I have to hear the verse in one of the Gospels? I want to say Matthew. I feel like it's Sermon on the Mount, where it's like no one lights a lamp and then puts it in a place to hide, puts it under a shadow, puts a lampshade on it, puts it under a basket, however you want to say it. So if I really do believe that I'm the light of the world, that Jesus is the light, he's coming to me in my life, that I should go into dark places, or that I should at least let my light shine. So I'm comfortable doing that in other scenarios and other situations in my life, way more than what he's asking of me, which is hilarious. But he also knows that I would rather be challenged than never be challenged, or never grow, or be in that lost place in the belly of the beast. Anyway, this is me doing it however late I am. I believe like God can send you a GPS signal or drop a pin, if you do feel like me, where you feel like, hey, I got off the path, or I looked at my phone and I looked up and you were gone. Like, we can totally get distracted. Wow, that feels like. Reminds me of a sermon I have to go listen to. I was rereading it recently, Jonah, and there's like the Sunday school version that still sort of lives in my head, but the real version just talks about how like he was fleeing from God and trying to run as far away as possible, and he gets swallowed by the whale, or the big fish, and the whale spits him out exactly where he was supposed to be initially. So even though he took boats, even though he traveled in the opposite direction of where he was supposed to be, like, God has ways of getting you back to the location that you're supposed to be. Just like get back on track with God, because we're the light, baby. if I see more people looking embarrassed for Jesus, maybe I'll be more empowered. And that's what God wants to do. He's like, let's multiply disciples so you guys can have collective strength, collective unity and community and all the things. But I think that's enough for one. Okay. I just thought there was a person next to me. Under the shadow of the Most High's wing. This is a wing. I've always pictured him as like a bird, like a giant eagle in that verse. I don't really know what that means. Anyway.